And what is the question? What if the word lost oxygen for only 5 seconds? What do you think? Really, what happened? What if? What if the word lost oxygen for only 5 seconds?
The first thing that I can imagine is that everybody in the world need to be hold the breath in 5 seconds. That can be solved without any problem. But I think the water in the whole world will disappear because you know that in the in the water function there is some type of oxygen in there, so it might be disappear. The water disappear too, and I think there will uh there will be the extinction of the some of the animal in the world because some animal they need oxygen to survive, especially with some
We first.
plant.
We first. Top
Yeah,
list human.
but in 5 seconds we can hold the breath. I think so because there's no problem with this.
Yeah. So
Yes, and it's
how long can you hold your breath? Just try.
just stop.
Just try it.
Just
So
stop.
how long? Okay. So let's see. So just I want to know. Okay, just one moment. So you hold your breath, and then I will tell you. Just one moment. Okay. Okay. Ready? When you're ready, tell me.
Yes.
3, 2,
You
1. Ready? Ready. Start. Okay. Just don't breathe. Okay.
I can't hold it anymore.
Okay. So 14 seconds. Okay, good record. Okay, good record. So 40 seconds. So it was not bad. Well, so how actually tell me how you're feeling, now when you can breathe again. It's
The first
amazing.
one is I feel like my lung is working again, and
Yeah.
I feel like I can breathe, I can relax, satisfy, I can see everything was clearly, and
Of course, of
I
course.
think if I hold the breath more longer, I will
Yeah,
lose my life.
of
I
course.
will lose my.
Actually, it's really basic thing that we never think about. So okay, so we breathe. It's really normal. But if we can't, what if? So let's see. Okay, let's watch this video. I really want to know what would happen if the word lost oxygen for 5 seconds. So let's see. Let me share my screen. One moment. Okay. Let's find the video. Oh, immediately get somber.
Oh,
Oh, 5 seconds. Um, giant system. Wow, just 5 seconds and this huge effect
Yes.
on the world.
I've
So
read that our living cell will explode, so I think we are gonna explode. Even we can hold our breath.
yeah, of course. So it's not something related only to actually breath. So it's like different, and just the other reasons. And for example, problems. Okay, I can hold my, for example, breath for I don't know 30 seconds. So that's okay. So 5 seconds is not really matter. But so the other consequences are actually wow. So I think it's really horrible. So, and that was really interesting because I had no idea about that. So, if a building, was constructed using concrete, it will be destroyed, demolished without oxygen. Wow, really? I didn't know, so I had no idea about it. Well, okay, so as you can guess, what if the word lost oxygen? So let's see, let me share my screen again and again talk about word. Okay, well, the first one, so cheap and low quality goods are abundant in the market, which is a dangerous threat to consumers' health. Why do you think? So when we have more than enough, of course, or existing in large amount, it's extra, it's too much. So why it's not good for consumers' health, do you think? Cheap
Uh,
and
I think I think cheap and low quality. People usually want something was cheap in a good qualities and abundance and delicious good too. But the problem here, I think, is that there is nothing in the world cheap, but also have a good qualities. So with the cheap and low quality goods are abundant in the market, with especially with some vegetable with a lot of pesticides will affect a lot to the customer. It can cause some cancer. I think so.
yeah, of
And
course. So yeah, of course, yeah, we normally people tend to buy something like low prices and they don't care back sometimes when it comes to price. Sometimes maybe they don't think about okay the quality, especially when it comes to food. So okay, it's just vegetable, so let's buy it, but it's cheaper than another one. So yeah, when they are abundant, of course it's dangerous, it's a threat for health because yes, you buy, you eat, and you don't know and you are not aware about consequences of what you eat. So yes, abundant, the first adjective. And yeah, we just watched a video. So concrete, that is, it's material that's very common and hard material made by mixing together, okay, cement and small stones and water. So what is the actually the role of oxygen here? I don't know. I need to search. Do you know anything about it?
uh, I think when you make a concrete, the first material to when you mix and to become a mixture between the water and concrete. The concrete you see is a dust, only dust.
Yeah,
And when you want this sticky and it connects all the bricks together to make a
yeah,
whole building, we need water.
yeah,
So if concrete mixed with water, they will become kind of a mixture that will very sticky and will dry
yeah,
after a couple of hours. So
yeah.
in the video, they said that if oxygen disappear in 5 seconds, so it means the water disappear, so the concrete will become dust again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
that is the
course.
reason
Wow.
why.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, well, and let me ask you another question. Tell me about the common material that is used to construct and build houses in Vietnam. So, what is the most common
Um,
material?
I think the first one is a concrete. The first with the brick, you know that, and the second is steel. steel and concrete and
Ah,
woods and some glass if you want to make a window. Yes, I
yeah,
think so.
of
You see a
course.
lot of I see a lot of building in Ho Chi Minh City that was covered by glass.
Ah, of course. So you can actually get a lot of sunshine. So like, yeah, it's good actually. It's a good idea. So,
Yes.
and just tell me, I want to know the types of accommodations are normally houses or apartments.
With some place was very crowded like Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. People usually stay in apartment.
Yeah,
Yes, and in it's like a small city living in a big city. In a small city, in that apartment, there's everything from school to gymnastic, swimming pool, everything you can find in a city. Just stay in an apartment. Yes,
yeah.
and I think this is the trend of the whole world that people prefer to living in apartment than living in a house. I think so.
You mean what? Just I did. So you said that everything. So I didn't. It means so there are lots of facilities, for example, in block.
No, it's not a block. It's a lot of block standing in a land. It's a quite you understand that? About 5 block, very high block, built around a park in the
High-rise
middle.
buildings. Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
There's high-rise buildings, and so maybe it's buildings that contains many apartments, like apartment block, or no?
Uh, how can I say?
Because
It's been
I got what you said. So it's like, for example, a block of flats, or for example, some apartments. And of course, it's really high rise, tall buildings, and with, for example, area like, and you don't need to go out and leave the area to go to school because, all the facilities, yeah, yeah, right?
yeah, yes, I think
Provided. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah, of course. So we can say high rise, for example, block flats, tall and with a lot of floors. Of course, it can be towers, so, but I don't know. I have no idea about it. Well, okay, so let's keep going. Okay, this one, drastic, dramatic. So, yeah, what do you think about? Of course, like normally, as you can see here, over polluted beaches and sea and water, okay, leads to a drastic, dramatic decrease
Yes.
in actually sea creatures, especially. So we talked about this. And tell me, what do you think, first of all, and if government has taken an action to deal with, to tackle this issue?
I think right now in North Vietnam, the government have launched some law, very strict law to stop this situation happen. And I lovely that there is some group of teenager who
Yeah,
volunteer to clean all the trash or the rubbish in the beach for free.
yeah.
And yes, it's quite good right now. So I think this picture was just on the past about 2 or 3 years ago, but right now I think it's totally clean right now.
Yes, of course. But here, actually, I can see an example. So let's talk about it. The swine flu outbreak has led to a drastic decrease in pork consumption in the north of Vietnam. So tell me about this one, swine fever. So what is that? And so, of course, you know that swine pig, you know that. So, but what is the pig fever, swine fever?
Um, hmm, Let me think.
Do you have the same? I want to know, because if you have swine fever
It's mean a
and North,
big figure.
yeah, of course, it's something like illness, a disease. Like, for example, it leads to a dramatic decrease in pork. Pig meat
Oh
is pork,
yes.
so people don't want to use
About I
pork.
said to you this before about in a COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah,
We
of course.
people to face to the pandemic and the swine fever and its lack of the pork a lot.
Oh,
So yeah, so
how
at that
about
time,
now? I want to know, how about now?
now I think right now there is still this fever still exists right now, but we
Oh,
can control it. Yes.
yeah, of course,
So
swine
the
fever.
price of pork out there was low right now, and it's not expensive like
Oh,
before.
yeah, of course. So it affected the price. Yeah, I got it. So because of course people don't want to buy. So because they're afraid of actually, swine fever, so they don't want to buy. So of course it affects uh, the price of pork. Well, and this one, combustion, process of burning. Fuel combustion is essential as it produces energy to run machines. So what do you think about this one? Actually, yes, burning, but we have another form of it. So normally not only fuel, so we have actually, when it comes to burn something, the process of burning something, so we know that, yeah, we have some other reasons. So for example, climate change and global warming, when the earth is getting hotter and hotter every day, some forests just destroyed, burn, just without any reason. And yeah, so I think there, maybe in the future we will use some alternatives, not really fuels. Do you agree?
Yes. I think it's absolutely in the future. We need to find something to alternate some fuels right now, especially
Yeah,
some fuel like a gas, like something that exists in the earth. So I think they would change to electricity and by wind, by water, a lot like that,
yeah, of course, of
and
course.
solar too.
Yeah, of course. So I do agree with you. So it's like, maybe in the future we will have, but let me say something, because sometimes when we see the meaning of one word, we think that we can use it, for example, in general term, so everywhere, like idioms. But they're a bit tricky, so you need to, when we say, for example, smoke is produced during combustion. So this is, for
Yes.
example, another. So it actually has a different meaning of, like, just burning generally. So, for example, normally is used when it comes to fuel. We use it. So you need to pay attention. Okay, and of course, yeah, there won't be another maybe consequence of lack of oxygen. There won't be any fire nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need oxygen for burning. Well,
Yes.
of course, but that was really, actually, the end part was a bit scary. You know, the oxygen affect the size of creatures like insects, So when we have
Yes.
more, maybe the more oxygen, the bigger insects, it's a bit scary. Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we need to have enough. We don't need to have more. Crumble,
Yes.
to break, or cause something to break into small pieces. The old wall is starting to crumble due to the earthquake. So of course, so, well, so tell me, have you ever seen, a building, or for example, something destroying, demolishing, crumbling?
Yes, about a few days ago in Vietnam, there is an earthquake in the middle of Vietnam. and
Ah,
I have read it in a newspaper. And the problem is that some of the building was crumble, and
yeah,
yes, and it's break into, and it's a lot of dust, and it's like into small pieces of
yeah,
block. I think so.
of course. Well, and now here, crumble. Okay, you can use it for different actually words and different sentences. So for example, crumble the cookies into small, like for example, pieces. So you can say, or for example, we need to crumble the herbs. So like, for example, to make this recipe. So you can use it, okay? And sometimes actually, or feeling. So for example, you know that, for example, when bones or when you are old and your bones start crumbling, like, for
Yes.
example, sometimes that, yeah, of course. And you may get your friend actually is extremely depressed after her relationship crumbled. So we can
Yes.
use it. So of course we have different sentences, so we can use it in different actually sentences. Okay. Well, and now let's keep going. Okay. Well, just this word, let me say something about the last word, crumble. We have another actually verb that is crumble away.
Um,
Do you have any idea about the
crumble.
meaning of this?
I think if something was, I think, I think something was, I think the word away is like, I think something was cracked into a small piece, and
Yes,
yes, I think so.
disappeared. For example, I have felt big opportunities crumble away in half an hour. Yeah, so you can say crumble away. For example, walls, okay, crumbled away. Okay, so you can say crumble away. Okay,
Yes.
wow. And now let's keep going. Do you have any questions related to these words and phrases?
No, I don't feel
Okay, well,
good.
wow. Okay, match the video below and discuss the following. So, how long can a man hold his breath? What could happen to concrete structures if there were no oxygen? So we know that because we watched the video. And why would we suffer from a severe sunburn without? Yeah, it's really, yeah, why really? At the beginning of the video, we watched, like, we saw that, yes, we will
Yes.
get severe sunburn without oxygen, just, 5 seconds. Why?
Yes.
How would it affect the traffic system? Wow, let's see. Let's watch the video together. It's not bad. One moment. Well, it's 23. Thank you. There is no video here. So why we have this audio? So yeah, we have some videos, some audios, and actually we see that they are not completed, they are not in order. So okay, let me find something. Let's magic. I need to do something, just one moment. Okay. Okay, how would I want to know this one? Because we know the answers. So the first one, why would suffer from severe sunburn without oxygen? So let's see why really. I want to know. Oh, I could find a way there. So let's watch it. How does the sun burn without oxygen? So let me share the screen again. I think this one is good. Well, no, not this one. Oh, this is the galaxy, not this one. I'm sorry. So, this one, I think.
That massive life-giving fire in the middle of space. It burns and burns, and all the planets are just like kids huddled around a campfire. Hey, pass the marshmallows, Mars. But wait a second. Here on Earth, a fire needs oxygen to burn, which thankfully our atmosphere has plenty of. But in space, that's a vacuum. No oxygen to be found. So how does that work? How does the sun burn without any oxygen?
Oh, really?
Gather round, everyone. Warm yourself by the fire of science. That's right, it's time for Al Connected's general knowledge.
Have you ever thought about it? How does the sun burn without oxygen?
The key difference in this answer is that what goes on within the sun and what happens in a campfire are two different things. The first is a nuclear reaction, the second, a chemical one. We're going to start by explaining the second one first. Fire as we know it is a chemical reaction called pyrolysis, and it needs three things to get going: heat, oxygen, and fuel. In a campfire, the wood is the fuel, but there are other fuels such as oils or gases. The tricky part of getting a fire going is creating the heat. That's where that rubbing of the sticks comes from. You're using friction to create heat to initiate the process. Once the pyrolysis reaction begins, it is self-sustaining. It will keep going all on its own, and that's because it generates its own heat. The only thing that is going to stop it is if it either A, runs out of oxygen, or B, runs out of fuel. Oxygen is key to this process. It bonds to the carbon in the wood, creating carbon dioxide, which releases heat and energy. Voila, fire. That's why nothing would put out a fire in a room faster than if you turn that room into a vacuum, removing all the oxygen. Of course, that's kind of difficult to do, which is why we tend to use water instead. Now let's get back to the sun and why it can burn within a vacuum. The sun creates heat in a completely different manner. It uses a nuclear reaction called fusion. Fusion means to join two things together. And in this case, those two things are atoms of hydrogen. Every second within the sun, billions of pairs of hydrogen atoms are being fused into billions of single helium atoms. Every second, over and over. And this process releases a tremendous amount of energy. How? Normally, two atoms don't really like being squeezed together, sort of not their thing. This is due to something called the electromagnetic force. That's what causes two similarly charged particles to be repelled from one another. But if you have a lot of pressure on hand, and by the way, we do mean a lot of pressure, then you can overcome that force. At which point a second force takes over, the nuclear force. Those two protons will now whap together into a brand new nucleus, and that coming together releases an unbelievable amount of energy. Now, when just two atoms do this, it's really quite something. But when billions of them do it, all in an instant, well, that's how the sun works. It's self-sustaining. Its immense gravity provides all of the pressure that it requires to keep crushing those atoms together. No oxygen is needed. In fact, the only thing that is going to stop the sun is when it runs out of its fuel, hydrogen atoms. Now, thankfully, that is not scheduled to happen for another 10 billion years or so. So, hey, let's keep those marshmallows coming. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to be sure to keep up on all of these hot tips.
Wow, so why? So tell me the process of burning sun in the space. So how it happens without oxygen in a vacuum?
I think the I think the problem is the fire and the sun. They will release some atoms. I remember the atom, right? And
Yeah, particles. You mean particles, a very small,
yes,
tiny particles, molecules, particles. Yeah, of course.
yes,
It's like, yeah,
and it's using it's using nuclear reaction to make the power, the energy, the heat with our oxygen. So there is a lot of particles that come out of the sun in every seconds and release a lot of energy. So
yeah,
when it practical interact with our skin, it's like a two I mean two molecules will be connect with each other
yeah,
with our oxygen. So it's may call heat too, and your sun will get burned.
yeah, of
That is
course. Yeah.
that I remember.
Yeah, of course, that was really good. Yeah, you're definitely right. So of course we don't need, when it comes to sun, of course it's definitely different, the process of making fire and burning, when we need some different items, like for example, we need material, we need or fuel, we need, for example, heat, and we need oxygen. So we combine them to make fire, to burn something. But when we say sun, actually, as you said, it's totally action reaction, some particles, and it's like nuclear. So I think the way that now they use nuclear force is something like, I don't know, maybe they discovered the way that sun makes and burns and makes energy. So maybe they are using. So because of this, as you know, we have the strongest, actually,
Yeah,
like bombs, and we know that, the strongest energy is nuclear. So there is no other option needed. There's just, just actually, as you said, atoms, molecules, and particles, and then it can be a really disaster. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, let's see if we can find the audio, or no, I hope so. you know it's not my fault, because I download the audios and videos. I can't do anything about it. So sometimes I get, let's see, what is this? I hope.
Unit 12. Recording 2. 1.
If I could be famous for anything, it would be art.
No.
I love painting.
Thank you.
And if I had more time...
Thank you. It's about talent. Thank you. And
I think
skills.
it
Why? Really, why? So we have some audios. Let me check the actually before and after it. Maybe I can find something good. So 22, maybe. Let's check. It's 23, right? Yes. So let's check 22.
Unit 12. Fame. Recording 1.
It's about fame. After. No, nothing. Let's see, what is this? Technology. So thank you. It's actually, there is nothing with this topic here. Of course, you don't need to, because we watched two actually good, useful videos together, so it's okay. Well, let's talk. So of course, yeah, you know that. So I think, yeah, according to this topic, the videos that we just watched, I think the least maybe important use of oxygen is breathing. What do you think?
yes, I think
Different uses.
oxygen is a basic things with the living life.
Yeah,
So I still agree with you that
yeah, of course.
oxygen is maybe important.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about what we need to survive? So, of course, oxygen is the first one. Water or food, which one is more important?
I think water will more important because I have read in the science book that we can survive without eating in over 30 days, but without about 4 or 5 day drinking, we're completely dead
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the water make every part of our body work smoothly.
Yeah, of course, of course. So when your body actually becomes dehydrated without water, of course, so you can't, your brain, stops functioning, doesn't work anymore. And of course, the all the part of, so yeah, of course. And I read actually an article about sleep. It was really interesting that, of course, I had no idea that, if you don't sleep enough, you will die. And
Yes.
you need sleep more than food. That was really interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, but, well, so create fire and use in different fields. Of course, we use oxygen in different fields. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me, in your opinion, what should we do to increase the oxygen level in our body? Oh,
It's a tough question.
of course, have an iron-rich diet. I think yes, because of yes, I know that iron is really important because actually it really important to carry the oxygen in your blood or something like this. I don't know.
Yes. And I think we should also do exercise. And when you do exercise, you breathe very hard and you breathe a lot, and you will, and there is an increase of oxygen in your blood too. So I think so.
Yeah,
And access to the fresh air, I think is quite true because if you
yeah,
live in some place was too polluted, the oxygen in the air was too much, just something with the pollution in the air, and it may don't get a lot of oxygen in your body too.
course. Of course, it's perfect, but unfortunately, in modern day, of course, we live in modern world that, we can't. So people need to go to work, and of course, we don't have an access to fresh air, especially in crowded, bustling cities. So number of people who live together and traffic. So of course, if you live in suburb, that's perfect. So, but it's a bit
Yes.
difficult, especially, for example, when you live in a flat apartment. So, how to grow green things around your house? And so, of course, you are not allowed to do this. So, I think, it's a bit difficult, but doing meditation, I have no idea about it. Yeah, really? It's good? I didn't know. Wow. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. So, I know that. And iron-rich diet, have an iron-rich diet. I think it's really good because iron is really important for our body. So, it's really good.
Yes.
And oh, what are the dangerous threats towards air quality? Everything.
I think everything we done today is back to the air quality, especially with some urbanizations and lack of trees. So when in the industrial zone, there is a lot of factory release
Huh?
some black gas,
Yeah, of
black
course.
smoke.
Tell me
And
about green spaces in your country. I want to know if your country is rich in with green spaces. So you have a lot of, because I heard one of my students traveled to what country? What was it? Ah, Malaysia. And yeah, she told me that everywhere was green. Of course, I haven't been there before, so I have no idea about it. So, but I want to know if your government actually uh, pays attention and, for example, cares about green spaces in your country, so you have a lot or no?
uh, I think there's no, because when I come to the center of a Ho Chi Minh City, especially in Hanoi, I
Huh?
rarely see something was like a tree because there is no land, no field anymore to plant a tree. Yes, we obviously that we can see some trees that in the street, but it's not enough for the whole city like that. So I think the model of a green city is
Yeah.
Singapore because they have a, something also very perfect. They can mix between the jungle and the city. They can
Oh,
plant a tree in the buildings because they don't have land, they don't have field. They just do agriculture in the buildings. And when you see Singapore, you have time to
wait,
go
wait,
to.
hold on. You said about you talked about agriculture. So how this is, for example, actually, I want to know if their economy is related to agriculture.
No,
Depends.
their economy depends on some harbor, you know that.
Of
But
course.
this is obviously that their citizen need something, need some vegetables, some fresh to eat, use. So as I
Plants.
read before,
Yeah, they
they
plant some vegetables, plants, greens, and yeah, vegetables. And for example, uh, I don't they grow maybe plants and they plant vegetables. So I got it. So actually, I thought that their economy depended on uh, something like agriculture. So more than so no industry, no agriculture, but I think tourism, right? Can be.
tourism and paper, I think so. So a lot of ship go to the Singapore every day. And
So
in there was there some of them was very rich.
uh,
I cannot imagine about the rich of them, but I would say they're really rich. There's some place in the Singapore just for rich people, and their influence is a significant place.
yeah, just let me. So they, because I didn't get if they export and import something because you
Now,
said harbor. Yeah, I want to know. So you said so why?
it's like the position of Singapore was very nice. It's
Oh,
like in just in the middle of the sea where every ship need to stay in
ah,
the harbor for a few days to
yeah.
refill the fuels to get a nap to stay for a few days to relax. I think so. And
Oh,
after that, they will move to another. They don't export or import export anything. They
oh,
just give the service in the harbor, and every ship want to go from the Pacific to the Indian Sea Ocean, they have to go past Singapore.
yeah. So I think I one day. So I think I need to add it to my list to travel one day. So I think it's a good way, good one, a good place. So
Yeah, Singapore
Asia,
is a good place because you
yeah.
can see a lot of tree in there. It's like a building, green building too. It's a mix between. I don't know. They maybe have some grass, some tree in the concrete too. And when they build that buildings, well,
Oh,
the building look green and a lot of trees in there. It's
wow.
like a city from the future.
Wow. So I need to watch the video. So what can be done to improve air quality? Grow more trees, cut down emissions, or use public transportation, cut down the use of fossil fuels. So all of them, of course. So what do you think?
Yeah, things grow more tree is a
Uh,
thing that we can do right now. But about the cut down emissions in nowadays was quite hard because we only focus on urbanization and make
yeah,
our economy grown up.
of
And
course. So industry, yeah, of course. So it's not possible. Yeah, I do agree with you. So it's not possible. And okay, cut down use public transport, not cut down. Of course, it's not possible that you okay, so you use your private. And of course, I think actually it's a good culture. So if people use public transport, so that's really good. But of course they don't. Maybe why? Why really? Tell me about your country. Do people tend to use public transport or no?
yeah, in Ho Chi Minh City they don't use a lot of public transport. But in Hanoi they prefer to use public transport because they want something was convenient. You know
Ah,
that? But in Ho Chi Minh City, they prefer something private because if we go in public transportation, we don't have our private. We cannot go to any place that we want. So
of
people
course.
still prefer using their personal transportations.
Of course, to have the privacy, so they would prefer. Well, and compared to 10 years ago, how has air pollution changed? Of course, it's changed a lot. and we can see that the air is polluted. So what do you think? And do you think governments are doing well on reducing air pollution in countries?
I think in 10 years ago, and I just remember that there's a lot of there was a lot of cars like nowadays, but nowadays a lot of cars out there, a lot of trucks, container, some heavy vehicles in the street right now.
Vehicles, of
But
course.
yes, and I don't think government have to do something was really strictly to reduce air pollution, especially in some industrial zone. I think they seem that in this place pollution is something was obviously was
Obvious, of course.
it was obvious. So I don't think they have some strict law, because if they launch some strict law like that, maybe it will prevent the progress, the process of the some industry. I think
Yeah,
so, some company.
of course, I think so. So they don't do and they don't take any actions because they don't want. Because as you said, it's something related to industry and especially industrial zones that, that I think nowadays are playing really important roles in the country's economy. So of course, so which one's important, economy or air pollution? So of course, economy is more important, they think. So, but what will happen in the future? You have no idea about the consequences. Okay, well, so we learned and we talked a lot about, again, our environment, and we learned some words and the use of them. And we have 5 minutes. You want to go or you want to watch a video related to Malaysia because you grabbed my attention. I want to watch.
Watch a video. I think we should watch a video
Of course, let's watch it together.
related to Singapore. I think so, not
Singapore?
Malaysia.
Okay,
Yeah.
Singapore? Okay, let me write.
Yes.
Okay, Singapore. Let's see. Well, okay, so you help me, just let me share my screen. You help me to choose one video because I have no idea about it. Okay. I don't know which one. Okay.
We can search natural of the Singapore.
This
Natural
one?
in Singapore.
I
Yes, we
think
can see that.
I think this one is good. Yeah, let's see. The
You can see
nature
the
yeah.
green city there.
Yeah, let's see. There's a travel guide, so I think.
Singapore is situated in Southeast Asia, just off the southern tip of Malaysia. One of the smallest and most densely populated countries in the world, Singapore is a breeze to explore. Nothing is more than an hour away from the central business district. Built at the crossroads of maritime trading routes, for well over a century, Singapore was the jewel in Britain's empire. When the city became a republic in 1965, few thought a country with so few resources and of vastly different ethnic groups could succeed. But succeed it has, on an unimaginable scale. Singapore today is one of the 4 Asian economic tigers, a futuristic bridge between East and West. Yet despite blossoming into one of the great global cities, Singapore is a nation that still cherishes its Asian traditions. Once filled with trading houses and opium dens, Chinatown's historic shophouses have been transformed into restaurants, boutique hotels, and gift shops. Pick up a good luck charm in the Pagoda Street Market, or find a few moments of quiet reflection at the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple. Across town, Little India crams all the colors, scents, and gods of the Indian subcontinent into just a few city blocks. While in the nearby Malay and Muslim quarter of Kampong Glam, the streets are a treasure trove of handicrafts from the Arabian world. One thing unites all Singaporeans: food. It's a national obsession. For an authentic Singaporean makan experience, follow the satay smoke to the nearest hawker center. For more upscale dining, head to the bright lights of Boat and Clark Keys. Despite Singapore's high urban density, the island is incredibly fertile. They say if you stick a broom handle into the soil, it will flower overnight. Escape the heat and enter a world of color at the Singapore Botanic Gardens and the National Orchid Garden. For a slightly wilder experience, explore the jungle paths of the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Singapore's animal residents are a pretty diverse bunch too. Famed for its forest setting, the Singapore Zoo is home to over 300 species, including the world's largest captive colony of orangutans. While the Jurong Bird Park has been bringing human beings and bird life closer together for over 40 years. Singapore enjoys a hot tropical climate. When the cooling afternoon rains come, indulge in that other Singaporean obsession, shopping. Orchard Road offers miles of retail indulgence. For a change of pace, head to the Bugis markets to really rub shoulders with bargain hunting locals. When it's time to unwind, climb aboard a cable car to Sentosa, an island playground filled with resorts, theme parks, beaches, and bars. At Sentosa's western tip is Fort Siloso, a vivid reminder of Singapore's darkest days during World War II.
Yeah.
Closer to town is Singapore's big backyard, East Coast Park. This 10-mile recreational park is lined with bike paths and beaches and is proof that busy Singaporeans do know how to kick back and relax. A little further east is Changi Beach. From here, catch a bumboat to the island of Pulau Ubin for a taste of kampung life that has all but vanished on the mainland. Pulau Ubin's quiet beaches, mangroves, and wetlands are a world away from the buzz of modern Singapore. But you don't need to ride a bumboat to head back in time. Simply step through the doors of Raffles Hotel and order a Singapore Sling. Many of history's greatest adventurers and writers have cooled off in Raffles' legendary bars. In the 21st century, Singapore is attracting the world's most adventurous architectural minds. Marina Bay shines like something from a science fiction blockbuster, while Gardens by the Bay shows the endless possibilities of mankind's flowering imagination. Welcome to Singapore, where the future is only ever a few steps away from the past. A destination that proves that with unity, diversity, and daring, even the smallest of places can grow into a giant.
Thank you. It was really good. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a good destination to travel, really.
Yes, I have to go to Singapore one time then. And do you remember the trees, big trees with a lot of lights in the end of the
Of course.
Oh, that was a real tree.
Oh, I thought it was artificial. It was not. Really?
That was a real trees named baobab trees. It's a very big trees in there.
Ah,
And in the top of the tree, there is a place for a party. And
oh,
in there,
yeah.
there was a lot of rich people, crazy rich people staying there.
Of course.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I will travel.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. It was really good day with you again, and you were perfect like always. Thank you, and have a great day, wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
day too.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.